We are starting things off as usual in the kitchen today, and I'm really excited because I am making okonomiyaki. Now, okonomiyaki is a Japanese cabbage pancake. It is basically what I eat anytime I'm like, Mary Berg, you need to eat more vegetables. You're not eating enough vegetables and you gotta get them in there. It's so delicious and tasty. And it's made basically, like I said, just using cabbage. So it doesn't sound particularly delish, but it is so, so good I cannot even tell you. So the first thing we need to start with for the okonomiyaki is about 400 grams of sliced up cabbage. Now you can slice it yourself or you can do what I do and buy a bag of coleslaw. Honestly, I love it, because then you get a little mixture. You get a little bit of the red cabbage, you've got the white cabbage. You also got some carrot in there, and that's the thing about this dish. The base of it is cabbage, so you want about 400 grams of that. But if you have any crunchy veg hanging out in your crisper that's maybe looking a little less than crisp, maybe you got a bell pepper, maybe you've got, again, some more carrots, just thinly slice that up, pop it in here, and it's gonna be good to go. Great way to get a ton of veg in, really easy and delicious. Now into that, I wanna add in a little bit of oniony flavor, but this cooks really quickly, so I'm just going in with green onion. I've got a whole bunch of green onion here, and I'm just gonna thinly slice that. There's nothing like slicing a whole bunch of green onions, because you don't even have to hardly take the little rubber band off the bottom if you don't want to. You can use that just to hold everything together. Now, if you wanted to, you could also thinly slice some red onion or even white onion. But again, this is perfect because it's nice and quick cooking. Gives you that onion flavor without having to worry about it cooking down. Mary Berg, you did not cut that well, so let's get that going. All right, perfect. All right, now I'm gonna add that green onion right on into that bowl. There's an absolute boatload of it. That's gonna give you that beautiful, again, bright green oniony flavor. Now into there, I'm gonna start building the batter. So the majority of the batter is this amazing cabbage, but we need something to bind this together. So the first thing I'm gonna add in is about half a cup of all-purpose flour. That's gonna be perfect. That's gonna just, like the gluten in there is gonna grab. If you can't do gluten, a gluten-free all-purpose blend would work perfectly as well. So that's going right on in. And then for a little bit of texture and to also help this not get overly dense when we're frying it up, I'm gonna add in half a cup of panko. Panko is like Japanese breadcrumbs, so they're really big, they're really crunchy. They almost have the consistency of, you know when you get like tempura, if you're getting sushi, and those little bits in the bottom of that the tempura area? That's kind of what it's like. So it's gonna give a little lift into here, which is great. Now to season that up, I'm going in with about half a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm also gonna add in a little bit of bouillon. Any sort of powdered bouillon you have. You can have vegetable, you can do chicken. If you've got like a dashi bouillon, which is like a Japanese kind of soup, that would work absolutely beautifully as well. But I'm gonna go in with about a teaspoon of that. Just give it in. Now that is nice and salty. If you've ever used this stuff before, you know it's basically a salt bomb, so a teaspoon is perfect. It's also gonna bring flavor though, which is great. So I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a mix together. If you wanted to here to add in some chilies or something for a little bit of heat, go for it, but we're sticking with this today. All right. This does not look like pancake batter, am I right? Looks like cabbage with flour on it. But we're gonna bring this together with some eggs and a little bit of liquid. So the first thing I need is 3 eggs. So I'm just gonna crack those right on in. I do like cracking eggs. I'm always very nervous though that I'm gonna get very shelly when we're doing this. Let's see if I can do a one-hander. Oh, I did it. That was a thrill. Don't tempt me, now I'm showing off. This is gonna go bad. Okay, let's see. Oh, pretty good. Okay. I truly think that's the first time I've one-handed cracked an egg on this show, because I usually am scared to do it. So good day today. All right, now into there I'm also gonna add in some liquid. I need about half a cup. I'm just gonna go in with water, because we already have that bouillon powder in there, so we're gonna get flavor. If you had like half a cup of chicken stock or vegetable stock hanging around, you could also add that in. That's gonna just bring everything together and moisten up that flour to make this into a nice kind of sort of batter. It's still gonna feel really loose and very cabbagey, but that's okay. Once that's all mixed together, you do want to set that aside for about 10 minutes to allow that flour to hydrate and just to soften that panko a little bit. Once it's nice and hydrated, it looks like this. So it looks like coleslaw. I'm not gonna lie, but it is gonna make the most delicious little pancake. So over here, I've got a pan, about a medium non-stick skillet, heating over medium heat. You do want to use a non-stick here, or any sort of like, if you've got a really good cast iron that's really good and seasoned, feel free to use that. You do want this to come out easily. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of canola oil. You could also do vegetable oil. And I'm gonna add a little bit of toasted sesame oil in there just for a little bit of punchy flavor, a little bit of nuttiness. I don't like to fry only in toasted sesame oil because it doesn't have as high of a smoke point. So that's gonna give a little bit of flavor though. Now into there, I'm gonna go in with half of this. This amount of batter makes 2 giant pancakes. Very, very tasty. So I'm just gonna scrape about half of that right on into that pan. Immediately it starts sizzling. Really tasty. And then just grab your spatula or your flipper or whatever, and you wanna press this into a pancake that's about 1 centimeter thick. Since this is mainly cabbage, it's okay to actually press this down. This isn't like a hamburger. You're not worried about moisture or anything like that. You wanna make it so it kind of coalesces into a pancake. So just press it in, doing its thing. And then you wanna let that go for about, I'd say, 3 to 5 minutes until it's nice and golden brown on the bottom and starting to hold together. Once it does that, you end up with something that looks like this. Obviously cooked on the bottom, hopefully, let's give it a peek, but not on the top. Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, now the hardest part of this recipe is the flipping. So I already did the eggs. I'm not flying too close to the sun today. I'm gonna show you my hack for getting something big like this flipped over. So I've got that in the pan, that bottom side perfectly cooked, but we need to get the top cooked. So what you wanna do is grab any sort of pan or a plate. I usually use like a pizza pan, something that's heat proof. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually slide this baby right out of there onto that pan. Now, I know, very excited. That's the trick of the nonstick skillet, my friends. But now what you wanna do, this is the tricky part, you're gonna flip this over, and then you're gonna really quickly and confidently flip it back over. Hey! So you're still having to flip it, but it's a little bit more controlled. You've got something under the whole thing, so it's gonna get nice and brown. Let that cook for another 3 to 5 minutes just to get golden and cook through. While that does its thing, I'm gonna fry an egg. Yes, there are 3 eggs in there, but I like a little crown of an egg on top. So I've got a skillet over here. Just a little bit, again, of that canola oil. I wanna do a crispy egg, so I like doing it with oil in the pan as opposed to butter. A little bit of that sesame oil so for some flavor. And then you want that over about, I'd say medium-high heat. I like the crispy little kind of frizzly edges. Add in your egg. And you just, whoopsie. This is a moral of the story. Moral of the story, everybody, don't brag. Because things like that happen. Now, one of my favorite parts of this delicious dish is all of the toppings that you put on it. So I wanted to show you how to make one of the sauces that I absolutely love. It's called tonkatsu sauce. Now, tonkatsu is actually like a fried pork cutlet. If you've ever heard of even katsu, that's just any sort of cutlet. It's a really good sauce that's kind of like a thicker Worcestershire sauce situation. It's really, really good. And it's super simple to put like a sauce in that style together. So my egg is looking crispy, crunchy. I'm very excited about it. She's doing her thing. But I'm gonna put this amazing sauce together. So I've got a bowl here. And into that, I'm gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I know I said Worcester sauce, but we're starting with tomato paste. Also, we should have a counter of how many times I say Worcestershire sauce differently, because who even, you know? We've got it. All right, 2 tablespoons of that tomato paste goes in. This is gonna give like a super delicious, rich, umami, tomatoey flavor. Really, really tasty. And then we're going in with a tablespoon each of all the other ingredients. If you are not feeling this vibe, if you want it a little saltier, a little funkier, feel free to adjust it to how you want it. But I'm going in with about a tablespoon of oyster sauce. This is like the classic ketchup scenario. It's coming, we got this, okay. Now, oyster sauce, really good. It is salty, it's a little bit funky, a little bit briny. Doesn't taste like super oystery, but it has that little bit of a hint of the sea in there. For a little bit more salt, I'm going in with a tablespoon of some soy sauce as well. I love soy. Oh my gosh, so we're going in with a little bit more than a tablespoon. I'm feeling it today. All right, a tablespoon for a little bit of acidity of rice wine vinegar. If you would just have like white wine vinegar, that would work as well. Even apple cider would be fine, but rice wine vinegar has that nice sweetness of the rice in there. Then I'm going in with a tablespoon of a little bit of brown sugar, just for some, I know. Y'all, I should be making dessert today. I feel like we got sugar people. And then I'm going in with the name Worcestershire sauce. And we're gonna go in with about a tablespoon of that. All right, perfect. This is a sauce, again, if you want to switch it up, change it to how you like to eat something, honestly, you do you. If you don't want to make this, a little bit of like hoisin on here also works really nicely. So give that a whisk. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, my egg's nice and crispy. I'm excited about that. Okay, that's looking perfect. So I'm gonna go grab that okonomiyaki out of the oven. So after I cook one of them or whatever, pop it into a 200-degree oven just to keep warm. And it looks delicious. We've got that beautiful golden brown top. And again, since we used a non-stick skillet, you just kind of slide it right on out, right onto your plate. Feeling very excited. Now, this is my favorite part of this dish. It is topping it. You get to feel like Jackson Pollock, which is very exciting. Get that tonkatsu sauce, give it a little bit of that. Just like sauce it up as much or as little as you'd like. Another thing I absolutely love about this, a little bit of Japanese mayo. So I've got some here, just a little squizzle of that. Japanese mayo is a little bit sweeter than traditional mayo. I'm going on with a little bit of some pickled ginger, just for a little bit of bite. Absolutely delish. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. This is where I take my time, but I'm not gonna today. A little bit of green onion just to mimic what's going on the inside. You can't forget about that delish crispy egg we've got, so I'm gonna pop that right on top as well. This is a great way to trick everyone you know into eating so much cabbage. If you've got some nori hanging around, those little seaweed snacks, that right on top as well. And then a little bit of some sesame seeds just to mimic that sesame oil we got going. I mean, that looks like a dream. Basically like a salad or coleslaw in a pancake. I gotta give this a bite because I cannot wait. And oh my gosh, it's such a good way to eat cabbage. Okay, here we go, here we go. Savory, it's sweet, it's salty. That is amazing.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.